The putting issue, he's 179th on the PGA Tour in putting. I felt there was a time where Rickie Fowler was certainly in the top 5 putters on the PGA Tour, one of the best. I can't really figure out what's going wrong. He seems to have. I want you to listen to this sound about what Rickie thinks is going wrong with his putting right now, and then I'm going to tell you what I think about what he says.
Kind of goes all over the place. I mean, I would say, a lot of it is read based, but at that point when you're not trusting your read, speed's a little off. So there's plenty of variables in putting. If you're not starting it online, it doesn't matter if you have the right read and speed or any of that. So I would say one of the biggest ones has been getting proper reads, and then on top of that, trusting that. So with that, like I said, speed can become a little inconsistent based on trust, but I think stemming from reads.
Well, the first thought is I never really heard Rickie Fowler talk anything about his putting like that when he was really putting well. I'm not sure what his thought process was, but I'm a little baffled by the real, root of the issue is bad reads. You wonder if that had something to do with the Joe Scovern situation. I don't know, but I just can't imagine that Joe Scovern and Rickie Fowler all of a sudden lost their ability to read greens, and then I can't quite figure out the correlation between getting the wrong speed. If you're uncertain about the read, I guess maybe if you were trying to play it higher, you would hit it easier, but then that gets correlated to hitting the ball off line. It's just all too much technical for me with Rickie Fowler and too complicated. I go back to the Steph Curry, I've talked about him before, who is a point-and-shoot player when he's in the game. He works very hard on his technique when he's practicing the day before or in the gym and things like that. But he sees the basket and he puts the ball in the basket. And it seems like Rickie has gotten to the point now where this has become really technical. He's on his 4th or 5th, maybe, different putter of this year already. That doesn't have anything to do with reading greens. And I'd like to see him just simplify it and go back to seeing the hole and putting the ball in the hole.
Yeah, great putters are typically called, well, I mean, obviously it's a huge part of the equation, but great readers of the green. But I'd maintain that, great putters tend to not complicate the stroke. They don't think about mechanics much. You go up and ask Ben Crenshaw about mechanics, and he'll tell you, I want the putter to fall asleep back there. I mean, it'll be nothing about, where the stroke should go or where his shoulders should be. Or in fact, it'll be much the same way. And Stan Utley, much the same way. And I've heard similar things come from the greatest putters of all time. I think they long ago put the mechanics of putting to bed. They don't think about them, which gives them more time and more attention to dive into the nuances of reading a green, the grain, the sheen in the grass, the wind, their body chemistry, and then matching all that so that they can read the greens properly. But when you're thinking about the mechanics of your stroke, those things are easily missed. And it's easily then said, well, I just misread it. I doubt it's that. I doubt it's more the former of those, thinking far too much about the mechanics of his stroke. But it is hard to get home. It is hard. Once you've turned the corner and started getting real technical in your stroke, it's hard to recapture that freedom that you once had.
Yeah, putting, playing with freedom, that's difficult if you're thinking about it. Like you mentioned Joe Scovern, who's a longtime caddy. He's been his only caddy on the PGA Tour. They parted ways last week. This is the first tournament that Rickie has been without Joe Scovern on the bag. Ben Showman of Cobra Puma Golf temporarily until he finds a permanent replacement.